This is a Mission Sonlight special report from the Middle East North Africa Union with President Rick McEdward.
MENA Union is made up of 520 million people. And 520 million people, 99% of them are from a Muslim background. So the church in this area is very small. It's restricted to small areas of Turkey and Jordan and Iraq, and a few Christians here and there, quite a few in Egypt. But really the main Christian core throughout MENA Union is in Lebanon, where the country is split between Muslims and Christians. In MENA, there are 4 countries currently that are in total upset. You think of Libya, Yemen, the country of Iraq, and the country of Syria that are really unstable. And politically and militarily, there's been a lot going on there. And so we have a very complex situation. We have several countries that are economically challenged right now. We also have a lot of areas where the church is unwelcome or illegal, and where certainly missionaries are not welcome at all. The most powerful way that we can engage in the Middle East or in other challenging areas of the world is really through having people there and having people who are generous and hospitable with their neighbors and caring. So we have opened up different avenues for welcoming genuine Adventists who want to be a positive and holistic witness in even a very difficult environment, to come in different ways and to be able to make a friendship, to have people in their homes, to live their faith earnestly in a new environment, but to also be that connecting point. Across the Middle East right now, there are many people who are disenchanted with their own faith. You can understand why. We see terrorism, we see the different uprisings in different places, coups and military issues. And if it was me, I'd be disappointed too. And so we see a lot of people opening up their hearts and saying, what else is there besides what I've been following? This isn't working for me. This isn't where I want to be. And in order for them to turn to somebody, we have to be there. And we have to have loving, caring relationships so that people can recognize that Christ is in us, that God is in us, that we're living for something better and have a better purpose in our life. And so we're looking for ways of having more people right in the communities where people can see this is an example of who God is. One of the things I get asked a lot is how, as a Westerner, do I relate to others who are Muslim? Maybe you might be around refugees, you might be around a Muslim community, or a neighbor. I have a neighbor when I lived in the U.S. that was from the Middle East. So you might have that question. Some people might have a fear about building a relationship with somebody from a Muslim background. And to be honest with you, most Muslims are not people you need to be afraid of. The vast majority, I mean, we have problems within Christian communities as well. So it's not like we should be afraid of Muslims, but we should be reaching out and saying, how can we be a spiritual encouragement to our Muslim friends, brothers and sisters? One of the things that I like to share is, why aren't we being more hospitable and welcoming Muslims into our homes, sharing a word of encouragement, connecting with them spiritually, and loving people in a way that would be acceptable, and to build a friendship for them. So I would encourage our Adventists who are watching this right now, you know, most Muslims have a concern for their family. They want to have a healthy life. They want to prepare their lives for the second coming of Christ. That's a fundamental belief in Islam, that Isa al-Masih will come back again. They want to live cleanly and integrity before God. And these are wonderful avenues where we as Adventists can build connecting points with them. So let's not be afraid. let's move forward and say, how can we be a spiritual encouragement for our Muslim brothers and sisters? Many people ask us in the Middle East, what are we doing to advance the kingdom of God? And there is a lot that the church is doing. Obviously, not everything we can talk about publicly, but I would love for the world church to be praying for us, to be asking God to pour out His Spirit. We see people who are having dreams about Jesus. We need to be praying for God's Spirit to be working in us and in others so that we can be prepared when the questions come to us. Who do you believe and who are you following? We depend on the generous support of people like you, and I just want to say thank you for your involvement in mission offerings, of caring for projects around the world, and especially in my part of the world right there in the Middle East. Thank you so much.
This has been a special report from the Middle East North Africa Union President, Rick McEdward.